Honda just detonated a bomb in the truck market and absolutely no one was ready for it. The company just unveiled what might be the cheapest pickup truck of 2026, and the entire industry is scrambling to understand how Honda pulled this off. For years, Honda has played it safe, solid engineering, great reliability, but never the brand you expect to throw a surprise punch at Ford, Chevy, Toyota, or even the growing wave of Chinese competitors. But that changes today because this new truck completely rewrites what a budget pickup can be, and the timing couldn't be more explosive. The moment the truck rolled out on stage, the message was clear. Honda is done watching the segment from the sidelines. The design alone caught everyone off guard. It's compact, rugged, squared off, and looks way more premium than anything in its price range. This isn't some bare-bones work mule slapped together for fleet buyers. Honda is targeting real consumers, students, city drivers, small business owners, people who want capability without paying full-size truck money. And that's exactly where the shocker comes in. This thing is priced so low it makes the Maverick, the Santa Cruz, and even used mid-sized trucks look embarrassingly overpriced. But Honda didn't stop at price. They packed this truck with tech and features that shouldn't even be legal at this cost level. We're talking a surprisingly roomy cabin with Honda's brand new minimalist interior philosophy. Clean lines, rubberized materials, smart storage everywhere, and an infotainment system that doesn't feel like it was pulled from a tablet made in 2013. Honda learned from every complaint people had about the first-gen Ridgeline, and instead of tweaking around the edges, they built something entirely different. Leaner, cheaper, but smarter. What really stunned analysts, though, is the powertrain. Everyone expected a weak base engine or something recycled from a Honda Fit. Instead, Honda revealed a new hybrid system designed specifically to boost low-end torque. It's not a powerhouse, but for daily driving, light towing, and hauling, it's more than enough. Plus, the fuel economy numbers they're hinting at are borderline unreal for a pickup. This truck isn't trying to be a mini F-150, it's aiming to be the perfect everyday companion for a generation that's tired of giant gas-guzzling trucks dominating every dealership lot. And here's where things get wild. Insiders are already saying this truck could completely upend the entire compact pickup market. The Maverick is suddenly in danger, the Santa Cruz looks outdated, even Toyota, the king of small truck reliability, didn't see this coming. If Honda actually delivers this truck at the rumored starting price, they've just launched the opening shot in a price war the US truck market has been terrified of for years. Automakers have milked truck buyers with $50K, $60K, and even $70K price tags, and Honda is basically saying, you know what? No, trucks don't have to be that expensive. Dealers didn't see it coming either. Honda dealerships are already buzzing because this is the first pickup from the company in years that feels like it was designed from the ground up to sell by the truckload. Think about it. High demand, low price, insane fuel economy, Honda reliability. That combination is about to put massive pressure on every competitor that thought the compact truck segment was already settled. And the craziest part? This isn't even the final production version. Honda hinted that more features, more configurations, and even a more powerful variant could appear before launch, which means this truck might get even better. And while every other automaker is arguing about EV trucks, charging networks, and battery shortages, Honda took a completely different path. They built a truck people can actually afford right now. No long wait times, no complicated charging system, no fear of range loss in winter. It's a back to basics approach, but with modern engineering, and that's exactly why it's catching everyone off guard. Honda just reminded the entire auto industry that innovation doesn't always mean going bigger, heavier, or more expensive. Sometimes it means going back to what made trucks popular in the first place: simplicity, practicality, and value. And here's the detail that might be the biggest game changer of all. Honda is planning to launch this truck globally, not just in North America. That means markets in Asia, South America, and even Europe could get a taste of this budget pickup revolution. If Honda can scale production at the level insiders are hinting at, this truck could easily become the best-selling Honda vehicle in years. It's a strategic move that positions Honda as the underdog ready to shake up a segment that's been stagnant for way too long. But the real question everyone's asking right now is how the competition will respond, because every major automaker is suddenly on high alert. Ford is reportedly reviewing its entire Maverick pricing strategy. Chevrolet insiders are whispering about an emergency meeting to accelerate a compact truck program they've been sitting on for years. And Toyota, they're in an entirely different kind of panic because they've dominated the small truck reputation for decades, but they haven't delivered anything this affordable or this modern in ages. Honda just exposed a weakness that nobody expected. The giants have gotten comfortable, bloated, and way too slow to react. Meanwhile, the buzz on social media is going insane. People who never even considered a Honda truck are suddenly commenting things like, okay, I kinda want one, and this is the first truck that actually fits my budget. Car reviewers are calling it the spiritual successor to the simple, bulletproof compact pickups of the 80s and 90s, except with 2026 tech, safety, and refinement. And that nostalgia is powerful. A whole generation grew up with small trucks that were cheap to buy, easy to fix, and impossible to kill. Honda is tapping directly into that memory, but with a modern twist. What's even more surprising is how aggressively Honda is marketing the durability angle. They showed footage of this new truck crawling through mud, loaded with gear, bouncing over rough trails, and not once did it look out of place. This is not a mall crawler. This is not a cute lifestyle vehicle that can barely handle a gravel road. It's a brilliant move and exactly the kind of long game strategy Honda excels at. Meanwhile, dealership whispers are confirming something huge. Honda expects this truck to attract a wave of first-time truck buyers. That's important because the company that wins first-time buyers usually wins loyalty for decades, and loyalty is the golden ticket in the truck world. Ford has lived off F-150 loyalty for generations. Toyota built an empire on Tacoma loyalty. Honda could be positioning this 2026 pickup as the gateway vehicle that converts an entire new demographic, urban buyers, young adults, downsizers, budget-conscious families, into Honda truck owners for life. And here's where the story takes another unexpected turn. Honda insiders revealed that during consumer testing, one theme kept coming up again and again. People wanted a simple truck that wasn't trying to be a luxury vehicle, not a rolling tech showroom, not a leather-wrapped status symbol, just a reliable, well-built, affordable truck that does the job. Honda listened, and by doing so, they found an underserved market competitors have been ignoring for years. But there's still one detail, one cryptic hint Honda dropped that has everyone guessing. Because during the post-event media briefing, a Honda spokesperson said something that sent the rumor mill into total overdrive. When asked whether this pickup would remain strictly a two-row compact design, the spokesperson smiled and replied, "This platform offers flexibility for different lifestyles." That was it. No details, no clarification, just an expression that practically screamed, "There's more coming," and instantly speculation exploded. What does different lifestyles even mean in Honda speak? Some analysts believe Honda is hinting at a future extended cab version, something slightly longer with extra storage behind the seats for tradespeople and utility workers. Others think it could mean a camper-oriented trim, optimized for weekend adventure markets. But the wildest theory, the one gaining the most traction online, is that Honda might even be considering a long bed work model. That one line alone has the entire automotive world spinning in circles trying to guess what's coming. Some say it's a hidden in-bed trunk like the Ridgeline but redesigned. Others think it might be a collapsible midgate like the new GM trucks. A few even believe Honda is working on a mini version of the Ridgeline's famous in-bed audio system. But the real insiders, the ones who have a track record of accurate leaks, are saying something different. They're saying Honda might be preparing to unveil a dual-power hybrid mode, a system that lets the truck operate like a normal hybrid on the road, but also function as a portable generator when parked. If this is true, it would put Honda in the same league as Ford's Pro Power onboard system, but in a truck that costs a fraction of the price. Think about what that means. Contractors powering tools straight from their truck, campers running lights and cookers off-grid, homeowners using the truck as emergency backup during blackouts. This single feature could redefine what a compact truck is supposed to do, and that's exactly why the industry is sweating, because if Honda really introduces a generator-capable hybrid at this price, it instantly becomes the default choice for millions of buyers who want utility without the cost and complication of a full-size truck. Ford would have to slash Maverick prices. Toyota would need to accelerate its long-delayed compact hybrid program. Chevy would finally have to stop pretending people aren't begging for a small cheap pickup again. Honda would become the trendsetter, and everyone else would be scrambling to catch up. But it gets even more interesting. Several engineers who worked on early development hinted that Honda designed the truck's electrical architecture to be future expandable. That phrase is loaded. It suggests Honda could later introduce plug-in variants, or even small modular add-ons that increase electrical output for bigger job site needs. And if those upgrades can be factory installed, or even retrofitted, that gives Honda a long-term revenue stream while keeping base prices low. Something that would compete directly with old-school compact work trucks that contractors loved in the 90s. If that's true, Honda just revived a segment that the big automakers abandoned years ago, and they'd instantly dominate it. But here's where things get even more interesting. Supply chain insiders, people who track component orders from automakers, have noticed Honda placing unusually large orders for reinforced chassis parts and load-bearing suspension components that don't match the prototype shown on stage. That suggests Honda is quietly preparing multiple configurations behind the scenes. And if one of those configurations is a long bed or extended cab version, this truck suddenly becomes more than a compact lifestyle pickup. It becomes a direct threat to the lower end of the midsize segment. Think about that ripple effect. If Honda releases multiple versions at different price points, they could undercut Toyota's Tacoma, Nissan's Frontier, and GM's Colorado Canyon Twins all in one sweep. No one, absolutely no one, expected Honda to swing this hard. And the craziest part is that Honda still hasn't shown the full potential of the interior. In private press leaks, a few journalists claimed the prototype had hidden mounting points under the rear seat and along the bed rails, places where modular accessories could be attached. That points to a full ecosystem of storage systems, utility attachments, and maybe even Honda-designed overlanding gear. It's like Honda saw how popular the Maverick's DIY flexbed options became, and said, okay, but what if we did this at scale, with actual engineering behind it? And that brings us to the biggest mystery looming over this entire truck. Honda keeps saying they're going after new customers with new expectations, but they haven't explained what that phrase really means. Some think it's referring to price-conscious drivers. Others believe it's about younger urban buyers entering the truck market for the first time. But the most convincing theory is something far bigger and far more disruptive, allowing them to outprice and outscale companies that have been resting on old production methods. On the other hand, if Honda is intentionally taking low margins, it means they're playing a long strategic game, trading short-term profits for long-term market capture. And historically, when Honda commits to a strategy like that, they don't miss. But here's where things take a dramatic turn. Multiple insider sources claim Honda has been quietly hiring engineers who specialize in ultra-efficient manufacturing processes, particularly in markets like Thailand and Brazil, regions known for producing tough, affordable vehicles at incredible value. That alone suggests Honda may have been planning this truck for years, waiting for the perfect moment when competitors were at their weakest, the economy was shaky, and consumers were desperate for something genuinely affordable. Another clue comes from the truck's interior layout. Reviewers noticed something unusual, a near-symmetrical dashboard design. That's not just a style choice, it's a manufacturing trick. It means Honda can build left-hand drive and right-hand drive versions with minimal changes, cutting global production costs dramatically. It also signals how serious Honda is about turning this truck into a global bestseller instead of a niche North American experiment. And then there's the wild card, the rumor about an all-wheel drive upgrade coming down the line. Insiders say Honda is working on a compact AWD system that's lighter and cheaper than anything they've used before. If they drop that into this truck, suddenly it's not just a budget city hauler, it becomes a legitimate all-weather, all-terrain mini workhorse. That instantly widens the customer base. Rural buyers, snow state buyers, outdoor enthusiasts, even light off-roaders. But even with all these clues, the biggest mystery still hangs in the air. What is Honda planning for the official production reveal? Because if the prototype already shocked the market, the final version might go even further. And Honda hinted, just barely, that the reveal will include a feature we've never offered on any Honda truck before. And while all of that is happening, Honda engineers are already teasing durability test footage that they can't wait to show the public. That's a bold statement. You don't say something like that unless you're confident your truck has survived absolute torture testing. We're talking salt baths, desert heat cycles, frozen lake towing, rollover simulations, the kind of stuff only brands with real confidence dare to show on camera. If Honda releases that footage and the truck passes with flying colors, the narrative shifts instantly. Suddenly, it's not just the cheapest 2026 truck, it becomes the smartest and possibly even the toughest option for everyday buyers. But there's one more twist that Honda teased behind closed doors, and this is where the story takes an even more unexpected turn. Because a leaked internal document circulating quietly among journalists after the event suggests Honda might introduce a work fleet variant of this truck aimed directly at contractors, municipalities, delivery companies, and utility services. If that's true, this isn't just a consumer truck anymore. This becomes a nationwide infrastructure disruptor. Why? Because fleets buy in bulk, and they buy based on cost, reliability, and ease of maintenance. Three categories where Honda already dominates. Imagine thousands of these trucks being ordered by city governments to replace old maintenance vehicles. Imagine small construction firms switching from expensive mid-size pickups to a cheaper Honda alternative that still delivers everything they need. Imagine delivery companies adopting a fuel-efficient hybrid truck to lower operational costs. If Honda taps into the fleet market, the production numbers will explode. Fast. But the real kicker? That document hinted at factory-installed commercial accessories, ladder racks, tool storage modules, bed dividers, even a reinforced suspension option, stuff competitors usually outsource to pricey third-party companies. Honda might offer straight from the assembly line. That is a direct attack on Ford's bread-and-butter customer base, and it's exactly the kind of move that can shake an entire industry. Meanwhile, another rumor is swirling. Honda might be developing a global parts sharing strategy to keep prices low even if supply chains tighten again. Think of it like this: one set of components used across multiple models, making production faster, cheaper, and more flexible. Toyota perfected this trick decades ago, and now Honda is taking it to a new level with their 2026 pickup. If the strategy works, the low price isn't a launch gimmick, it becomes permanent. Competitors can't match that without redesigning their entire factories. And here's where the tension gets even higher. Several analysts pointed out something Honda didn't say on stage, but hinted at. The design language of this truck, it matches the early sketches seen in leaked presentations of Honda's upcoming next-gen SUV lineup. That means this isn't just a truck, it's the first domino in a much bigger strategy. Honda could be preparing to refresh multiple models using variations of this same platform, letting them undercut rivals across multiple segments. That's why the reaction from other automakers has gone from mild concern to full-blown panic. They're realizing Honda didn't just unveil a cheap pickup, they unveiled the opening shot of an entirely new product strategy, and it's aimed squarely at the weak spots competitors have been ignoring for years. But there's still one unanswered question that's making the industry nervous, because nobody can figure out how Honda is making money at this price. Behind closed doors, analysts are whispering that either Honda has discovered a breakthrough in low-cost manufacturing, or they're willing to take razor-thin margins just to break open the market and establish dominance before anyone has time to respond. And both possibilities are equally terrifying for competitors. If it's a manufacturing breakthrough, something like faster stamping techniques, redesigned supply chains, or ultra-modular components, Honda could replicate this formula across sedans, SUVs, and even future electric models. That would put Honda on a completely different competitive tier. A plug-in hybrid, or this is the wild theory, an electric version built specifically for developing markets where full-size EV trucks would be total overkill? Whatever Honda is cooking, they're clearly not treating this pickup as a one-off experiment. They're building an entire ecosystem around it, and that terrifies the legacy players, because Ford and Chevy built their empires on trucks. But Honda is stepping into the ring with fresh ideas and zero baggage. They don't have to protect a decades-old profit model. They don't have to convince die-hard loyalists. They can innovate freely, and this new platform unlocks options that the big players simply can't copy without cannibalizing their own sales. Even the production strategy is bold. Instead of limiting the truck to a single engine or trim level, Honda hinted that the base model will be only the beginning. A mid-tier variant could offer upgraded suspension, more towing power, and a tougher exterior package, while a top-end trim might come with premium features that rival mid-sized trucks, without jumping to mid-sized truck prices. pricing. Honda is essentially compressing an entire market segment into one truck family. For budget buyers, this is huge. For competitors, it's a nightmare. And speaking of nightmares, there's a growing fear among automakers that Honda just cracked the code on what consumers actually want in 2026. People are exhausted by massive monthly payments. They're tired of trucks that require second mortgages, and they're definitely done with pointless features that inflate prices but don't improve the driving experience. Honda sliced off all the fluff, focused on practicality, and delivered something people are actually asking for instead of telling consumers what they should want. But the industry meltdown doesn't stop there. Suppliers are chiming in too, saying Honda's modular manufacturing strategy could dramatically cut production costs across the board. If Honda proves this works, every other automaker will be forced to follow, meaning the entire pricing structure of the truck market might be on the edge of a massive reset. That's how disruptive this one model is. Honda built this thing with real-world abuse in mind, and if the early engineering demos are anything to go by, it might outlast half the mid-sized trucks currently on sale. That's going to terrify competitors who rely on the assumption that affordable trucks can't be durable. And here's the twist nobody expected. Honda teased an optional utility pack, which includes modular bed accessories, a fold-flat rear seat system, extra power outlets, and even a built-in air compressor. Features that normally cost thousands as dealer add-ons might come bundled for a fraction of the price. That's classic Honda.